We humans have been trying to crack the immortality code for ages now, but all those efforts have been in vain. While we might be very far away from becoming immortal beings, some animals seem to know how to live even after death. It seems that these creatures got the luckiest during evolution because they basically live forever. In this video, we will take a look at 12 animals that seem to have figured out a way to cheat death. I think we really need to take notes from these creatures if we want to live forever too. So pull out those notebooks and be ready to be shocked. Number 12. Cockroaches. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple years from now, scientists discover that cockroaches are the descendants of some sentient beings. After all, these little creatures have survived multiple extinction events and are capable of surviving even a nuclear disaster. If that can't kill them, I really don't know what will. Cockroaches can live for days even after having their heads chopped off. You see, unlike humans, cockroaches are not dependent on their mouth or head to breathe. They have tiny holes in each of their body segments that they breathe through. The reason we can't survive decapitation is because we start bleeding profusely as soon as our head comes off. But these creatures don't have to worry about any of that, all thanks to their open circulatory system. This simply means that there is little to no blood pressure inside their bodies, and the wound closes automatically due to clotting. The only way a cockroach would die after decapitation is due to starvation, but even that takes a couple of weeks. Number 11. Chickens. Chickens die and they stay dead. Otherwise, how would you enjoy those nuggets? But wait, there's a reason why chickens are on this list. These flightless birds can live even after having their heads chopped off, and this usually happens due to human error. You see, part of the reason that a chicken can live without its head has to do with its skeletal anatomy. Not all bodily functions are controlled by the brain. The brainstem controls some of them too. So, when a butcher slices a head above the eyes, only the forebrain is removed, and the cerebellum and brainstem are still intact, which makes the chicken's basic motor functions and ability to breathe quite likely. The best example of this is Mike, the headless chicken. Mike was beheaded to be sold in the meat market, but he had other plans. This bird survived the decapitation and lived on for 18 months. Even though Mike's beak, face, eyes, and an ear were removed, experts estimate that up to 80% of his brain that controlled the chicken's body remained untouched. Number 10. Octopus. You might have seen videos of people being served fresh octopus that was still moving and tweaking on the plate. Well, that's because these creatures can still move their tentacles even after dying. Each tentacle has its own control system, so that they can move without any command from the creature's brain. It's like those 8 tentacles have their own tiny brain. They can also sever the arms at will and use it as a defense mechanism. When detached from the body, the severed arm moves on its own and distracts the predator while the octopus makes a swift escape. In one experiment, researchers chopped off euthanized octopus's tentacles, chilled them in water for an hour, and then still managed to get a split-second response when they poked it. Another research showed that, when encountering a piece of food, a severed limb will snatch it up and try to move it in the direction of its mouth, although it's not really there. So if you ever plan on trying out an octopus delicacy, make sure the moving tentacles don't get stuck in your throat. Number 9. Frogs. Frogs are straight-up zombies of the animal world. They can hop, climb, and swim even when their brains have been removed. What's disturbing is the fact that it will even croak contentedly if you stroke its back. This happens primarily due to the power of the reflex reaction, which fires the necessary electrical impulses and causes muscles to expand or contract. While humans can't survive without our gray matter, frogs don't seem to need it as much. Even without its brain, a frog can continue to respond to external stimuli for an indefinite period if energy can be supplied artificially. Another factor behind this zombie-like behavior is the simplicity of their anatomy. Studies have shown that the lack of brain results only in a lack of spontaneity, and all a brainless frog needs is energy and the occasional push in order to act like a regular animal. What's even more interesting is that studies have shown that a frog without a brain will react more consistently than one with a brain. This suggests that the brain might actually be suppressing these impulses. Number 8. Salamanders. Salamanders have always been synonymous to long life and immortality. These slimy creatures have the regenerative powers of Deadpool and look equally ugly too. Ignore their appearance and you'll see how amazing these creatures actually are. Salamanders exhibit the remarkable ability to regrow tissues, organs, and even whole body parts from scratch. The newly formed body parts are often as good as the original, and in some cases, even perform better than the original. This is made possible by a special protein found in salamanders that facilitates the replication of cells. This same protein can also be found in humans, but we are still far from being able to regenerate new body parts. However, this protein does help us humans heal our wounds. Scientists have been studying these creatures in hopes of cracking the cellular code, but there's still a long way to go. Number 7. Flies. Chickens seem to have shared their secret with houseflies because these insects can go on about their day even after being decapitated. Female flies will live for several days after they have been decapitated. Beheaded females can even engage in complex actions such as preening, flying, and walking. Flies have sort of a spare brain in their chest that makes these activities possible. What's amazing is that these flies can even react to light, all thanks to the light-sensitive cells in their bodies. Males will even court with the decapitated female, like losing a head is no big deal. These tiny insects also have the ability to survive in extremely cold environments. They have guts that do not freeze until temperatures get to 0, and some can survive freezing and thaw out once conditions are suitable. Number 6. Bees. Bees aren't exactly immortal. They can be killed. So why are they on this list? Well, that's because even after the bee is dead, it can end up stinging you. You see, the venom delivery system that bees have can still be active even after the bee is long dead. A bee's sting consists of 2 vital parts, the sting itself and a tiny muscle that is responsible for pumping the venom out. Because bees are fairly simple creatures, the stinging and venom pumping action aren't controlled by the bee's brains. Instead, they are controlled by involuntary impulses. This makes picking up a dead bee dangerous because there is still a risk of getting stung, and trust me, it hurts just as bad. Number 5. Turtles. Turtles might not seem like the immortal type, but they have some similar qualities that have earned them a spot on this list. A turtle's heart can keep on beating hours after it has been removed from its body. The hearts of these reptiles have their own pacemaker cells that take over when the signals from the brainstem are not coming through for some reason. This ensures that the heart still functions for a while, even when the brain doesn't. Being cut off from the oxygen and nutrients isn't anything new for these guys, because some turtles, like the loggerhead musk turtle, can stay underwater for a very long time. They survive that long by whatever oxygen they can take up from the water through their skin, throat, and butt end. Also, their hearts have their own fuel stash, which is why they just won't give up until every last bit of that has been used up. Number 4. Snakes. Snakes are dangerous just the way they are, and as if that wasn't enough, they can still be dangerous even after death. Yes, that's right. These reptiles are pretty good at retaining their reflexes even after death. When the nerve of a newly dead snake is stimulated, the channels in the nerve open up and allow ions to pass through. This creates an electrical impulse that enables the muscle to carry out a reflective action, like biting. In poisonous snakes like rattlesnakes and cobras, biting is one of the reflexes that can be activated in the brain even hours after the animal has died. Even emergency personnel who get any sort of training involving snakes are always warned to keep away from them even after they're dead. So the next time you come across a dead snake, you know what not to do. Number 3. Immortal jellyfish. The name says it all. These otherworldly, gelatinous aquatic animals seem to have uncovered the secret to cheating death. Jellyfish in general are subject to the cycle of life and death, but the immortal jellyfish is known for its ability to bend the rules. The hydrozoan Turritopsis dohrnii can actually reverse its life cycle. When the medusa of this species is physically damaged or experiences stresses such as starvation, instead of dying, it shrinks in on itself, reabsorbing its tentacles and losing the ability to swim. It then settles on the seafloor as a blob-like cyst. This blob then turns into a new polyp. This remarkable and extremely rare process of transformation is called transdifferentiation. Due to their ability to reverse their life cycle in perfect conditions, it may be that these jellyfish would never die of old age. If these jellyfish aren't eaten up by predators or harmed in any other way, they can basically live forever. Number 2, praying mantis. The praying mantis has a weirdly specific skill and is beyond our comprehension. You see, females follow a sort of cannibalistic ritual where they bite off the head of the male. However, that's not always the case. When the female praying mantis is mating, she does not bite the head off the male with one swift snip. Instead, she chomps a small bite of the male's head, just like eating an apple. Once the male is decapitated, a separate mini brain in his tail kicks in and speeds up his mating performance. Tough love, right? But what's amazing is the fact that even after losing its head, the male can still impregnate the female. Evolution has only gifted the mantis with this wacky skill, and they appear to be making the most of it. Number 1, tardigrade. Tardigrades are micro-animals that are commonly known as water bears or moss piglets. Just take one look at these tiny creatures and you'll understand why they are called so. But that's not why these creatures are on this list. You see, anything that tries to kill a tardigrade will quickly realize they encountered practically immortal animals. These tiny creatures are capable of withstanding extreme temperatures, dehydration, starvation, and even radiation. They can even stay alive in outer space. Tardigrades can do the impossible because they can put their metabolism at halt by entering a state of cryptobiosis. By doing that, these creatures can actually stick around for thousands of years, or even indefinitely. Do you know of other animals that can live forever? How would they fare up against all other animals on this list? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, if you loved watching this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, just hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications after subscribing to the channel. That'll keep you up to date with every bit of content we post. We'll see you soon in the next one. Bye!